Hi team, thought I'd check in Sunday night, come back for some tea and drawn some, well I always have these pretty much on the screen, but tonight I've identified it a little bit more simplicity. I hope it doesn't contradict itself, but at times it may do, which I'll try and explain, okay? So we'll just take this trend line here from April, the start of April. We've had an amount of selling pressure all the way till the end of May, or near as damn it, okay? We can clearly see, call it coincidence, call it what you will, but this trend line here from the 4th of April down to, well, if we'd drawn it from there, okay, that little trend line there, which is 3 weeks, that trend line there is being respected all the way down, okay? Call it coincidence, but that's what's happened, okay? So that's an area of interest as number one, your trend line, okay? They always say the trend is your friend till the very end. And here on your daily, it's been doing that. Obviously, you've got your EMAs and what other indicators you use, that's down to yourself. But for me, I like to keep it nice and simple. So we've got that trend there. So we know what's happened in terms of the news, and stocks have been failing and the economy has had a downward spiral. We're not too interested right now in terms of the technical side of that. We are purely talking price action here, okay? Whether there's too much stimulus money being pumped in, overvalued stocks, we've discussed it for the last 2 years of what's been happening, okay? But for now, we're just going to keep it price action wise. And this trend here is, like I say, from the 4th of April down to here, this trend line, effectively, if you'd have just been trading this, or you're a swing trader, okay, come here, if you'd have shorted it at 13,500, okay, you'd have had a £2,000, a 2,000 point move, okay, if you are a swing trader. But anyway, we're not going to get too down to the nitty gritties right now, but that's a trend that has stood tall for the last 2 months. Equally, we've had somewhat a reversal down here at the end of May. So much so, we've drawn a trend line, or I have drawn a trend line from here, okay, down from there to there, okay. So we've had support here, okay. We've had some bounces in and around some mega lows at 11.5, 11.6, and I've just drawn this of an area of interest, okay, not too technical for now, but this is an area of lows, okay, which begs the question, where are we going to go next week? Are we going to respect this trend line, or near as damn it, here, yep, or bearing in mind Friday saw a 360 point sell-off, okay, which failed to get anywhere near Thursday's high, or failed to get near Thursday's high, and we've seen selling pressure. In one sentence, I'd like to say it doesn't matter to us guys, because we're day traders. I know people invest long term like myself, and I'd love this to have a bounce from this trend line. Love the buyers to come in around 12,500 to maybe get to 13, test it and see some, continuation of this trend line, or respecting the trend line if we had a bounce from here. But I'm just trying to keep it simple really, and just show you some sort of supply and demand and some areas of interest, okay? Not done too much news analysis and seeing what's happening in the world, which may sound sort of stupid leading into a new week, but we're just looking at the technicals now, and I want you to pay close attention to this, and we'll see that this trend line here okay, as being respected. So are we going to form a new trend line? And if we are, we've got some backbone here to trade off. That's my number one indication here. Okay, if this was here, if this was respected somehow and in some way of each high here, it was sold off again as we was here and as we was here. Is that coincidence? 3, 4 sell-offs within this 2-month period, or now are we going to see this trend line to be respected? Okay, and if we are, essentially this low would have been a great buy to see if we could test 13 onwards to test 13 again if we were sold off to see a reversal. Okay, so I'm just wanting to show you my charts and what I'm foreseeing. I've drawn obviously the major sort of sell-off areas, which obviously is your supply area, and your demand areas where they're being bought up, here being the most significant support and your demand areas in and around here. Okay, they say they're not the same. I think they're similar. I have got some other areas of interest. I mean, look, I've even got a Friday's demand there. These are areas of interest. However, they do contradict themselves, but then you're going on the reversal sort of side. If this was to sell off now, I'd be looking to sort of test this area here of 12,290. This area here. Yep. I'd be looking to see this because obviously we came down here as low down here, down to 12,200. Round numbers are always significant. We know that. Are we going to come back down here? If we are, okay, we can manage it. We can sort of see here, we've had some significant selling pressure here. Here was a 600 point sell-off. So if this area here, triggers some massive selling pressure, God knows where we could go. We could go back to here, 12k. Hopefully some buyers will come in. One thing that I would say is I'd be liking this to run out of steam down to 12,200 or even 12k and get lower and lower for the buying pressure to come in. However, we're in unprecedented times at the moment. We're on about a recession. So, okay, we bounced off here, nicely. But it's anyone's guess whether we're going to sell off and obviously have a momentous sell-off down to 12k. Should we find some sort of demand area in and around here, okay, bearing in mind the day before we saw a nice 300-400 point move, this trend line is respected. We're just talking technicals here, we're not being doing any fundamental analysis or anything like that with stocks or the economy. We're just sort of talking loosely about the price action and where we are on the charts, just to give us a head start on Monday. We'll see what the Asian market does. We'll see what the European market does. I'm not going to trade the European. That's a bit of a rule that I have. I'll let the European markets open. We'll see what the consensus is with the Asian market to give us some sort of foundations. We don't want to be opening our laptop on Monday and get caught. If we think it's going to sell off for whatever reason, or we're going to get a bounce, I need some indication to tell me that, okay? People may trade differently, and this is an insight to what I do. Monday, on the European side, I take it easy, okay? As you can see, this is the Nasdaq, okay? This, for me, has been my main focus since I went to Dubai and Maldives, and it's done me well. So much so, it seems that every man and dog, mentor-wise or otherwise, has jumped on the back of it. However, so we can clearly see that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've been coming down to this area, 12,450. Okay, I would like to see this hold on the Asian, European and American market to consider going long, okay? And this is our trend line. Again, it's kind of rough because I'm on my iPad, but I'm kind of hoping this will hold. Doesn't matter to us if it does or doesn't. Again, if it breaks it and we have some confirmation, we back it up with the news and what's happening in the economy and various stocks or various other dramas that may unfold, we'll trade accordingly. And if it wants to sell off to 12k, no problem, we'll follow that, okay? So I'm not going to go over it several times. I hope this gives you a little insight to my approach on the American Open. I will be managing it. I will be managing the charts to a degree on the European Open. I just hope this will give you a bit of an insight to my approach in terms of technical analysis.